Hi, I'm Jess, and welcome to my channel. Kingfisher has become one of my favorite authors, and when I found out that she wrote a Sleeping Beauty retelling, I had to read it. I love fairy tale retellings, so combining two things that I love has to be good, right? This review contains spoilers for Thornhedge by Kingfisher. Spoilers don't bother me, but if they bother you, I suggest you read the book, then come back and see if you agree with what I have to say about it. At first the thorns attracted attention, and men would come from all around, hoping to find their fortune behind the hedge of thorns. Time passed, and fewer people came. One day, Toadling heard people out on the nearby road, talking about a plague that was killing so many people. She was relieved. She hoped that if enough people died, the tales of the keep behind the wall of thorns would die with them. More time passed. One day, a knight made camp near the Thornhedge. Toadling hoped he would just stay the night, but the next day he didn't leave. She decided that she had to scare him off. Her magic was weak, but she could put elf locks in his hair. She waited until he fell asleep and crept over to him. As she was resting, after tying the first elf lock, he grabbed her wrist. The knight's name was Hallam, and he read about the keep in a book. He wanted to know what was inside. Toadling tried to convince him that the stories weren't true, but she failed. He agreed to leave if she would come with him, but she couldn't leave. She had to protect the keep. So he left without her to find a way to break the curse that kept her there. Toadling was born to human parents, but was stolen away and a changeling left in her place when she was just a few hours old. Humans had ways to prevent changelings, but Toadling's mother was bleeding and everyone was focused on saving her life, so the baby was put in a crib with no protection and she was taken to Fairy. She was of no use to the people who stole her. Their goal was to replace her with the changeling. What happened to her didn't matter. She was given to the Green Teeth. The Green Teeth always eat boys, and almost always eat girls. But sometimes, if one of them is feeling maternal, they'll keep a girl and raise her. Toadling was lucky. The eldest Green Teeth took her in and fed her. Because she hadn't eaten any human food yet, she was transformed. When she was about 15, the goddess came for her and took her to a small fairy court to learn what she had to do, to someday save her father's kingdom. She studied for years. When she returned to the human world, only 7 days had passed, and Toadling stood as godmother at the christening of the changeling that replaced her. Hallam returned with tools blessed by an imam, and a priest to try to break the curse trapping Toadling at the Thornhedge. Toadling thought that she should kill him before he does something to free the sleeper in the keep, but she can't bring herself to do it. In the morning, Hallam tries to break the curse on her, but nothing works. She tells him that nothing will because there is no curse on her. He decides that he must climb the tower to break the curse. The gift Toadling was meant to give the changeling at the christening was to do no harm to those around her, but the words came out wrong. The gift she ended up giving was that she would stop the changeling from doing harm. A small mistake, but it changed the spell into something different, and the doors to Fairy were closed to Toadling. She was accepted into her father's household and viewed with a sort of contempt. She had to stay to protect the changeling, who was named Fayette, from doing harm. As Fayette grew, she became more violent. Toadling begged the priest to teach her, hoping that religion would stop Fayette from doing harm. One day, Toadling walked in to find the priest dead. Fayette said he turned a funny color. Toadling didn't think that Fayette had killed him, but she definitely didn't do anything to try to save him. After that, Fayette started torturing animals. The nurse was the next to die. She fell down the stairs. Fayette thought it was funny watching her tumble down and tried to drag her back up to see her tumble down again, but the nurse was too heavy. She tried to use magic to reanimate the nurse's corpse to get her back up the stairs that way. But that didn't work either. The getting the nurse back up the stairs part didn't work. The reanimated corpse bit did work. After the incident of the dancing corpse, the king decided that Fayette should be killed, but couldn't bring himself to do it himself. The queen didn't want her daughter to be killed. Fayette had exhausted herself using her magic and was sleeping. The king said that he wished she would stay asleep. Toadling said that she might be able to make Fayette stay sleeping. Toadling cast a spell to keep Fayette asleep. She would stay asleep as long as no one touched her. So The door to the nursery where Fayette slept was barred and the door to the tower was bricked over. Within 5 years, everyone had left the keep. Toadling used water to fuel her magic, and the spell was pulling water from the surrounding area. Wells ran dry and fields dried up quicker, and gradually people left to live someplace more hospitable. Toadling gave up on trying to keep Hallam out of the keep. It took him several days to hack his way through the hedge to the keep entrance. Once inside, Toadling told him the story to prepare for when he entered the tower. Hallam believed Toadling, but knew that he wouldn't be able to kill Fayette. He had a hard time killing men in self-defense. There was no way he would kill a sleeping child, even knowing that child would kill everyone if given a chance. Hallam didn't think it was fair that Toadling thought that she deserved to be punished by watching the tower, alone for over 200 years, for messing up the gift. But Toadling couldn't leave. Without her, Fayette would wake up. The next day, Hallam was still determined to get into the tower. When Toadling saw Hallam struggling to get through the bricks blocking the door, she decided to use her magic to help. She almost lost control of her magic. It wanted to be free to return to the earth, but she convinced most of it to return to its task of keeping Fayette asleep. At the top of the tower, Fayette still slept. When Hallam saw Fayette, he didn't know what to do. Toadling and Hallam decided to try covering Fayette with iron. Fayette never liked iron. The Fae never do. Then Fayette grabs Hallam's wrist. Fayette twists her hand and snapped Hallam's wrist, having grown stronger in her sleep. Toadling tried to put her to sleep again, but Fayette was too strong and Toadling's magic too weak. Fayette tried attacking Toadling with her magic, but Toadling dodged, so she turned her attention to Hallam. Toadling threw herself between Fayette and Hallam to protect him. She used her magic to protect Hallam, leaving herself defenseless to Fayette's attack, and Fayette wrapped her hands around Toadling's throat. Fayette carried Toadling to the balcony by the throat and reached up to dangle her over the edge. Just before Toadling passed out from lack of oxygen, her instincts kicked in and she transformed into a toad. She fell, but not very far, because Hallam caught her. He bumped into Fayette while reaching for Toadling, causing her to overbalance and fall. After splinting Hallam's wrist, Toadling returned to deal with Fayette's body. She asks the earth to cover her up and make sure she does no more harm. That night, the goddess visits Toadling and takes her back to Fairy and back to the Green Teeth. Some time passes in Fairy, and Toadling misses Hallam. The other Green Teeth understand and tell her to go back and that there would always be a place for her among them when she returns. She climbs on the back of a Kelpie, and he takes her back to the human world, where the sun is just starting to rise. I think this was a good twist on the classic Sleeping Beauty story. Making Sleeping Beauty evil and the fairy good made the story more interesting. I wish there was a bit more depth to the story, but that's what you get with the shorter length. That's what you get with the shorter length of novellas. I do like being able to read an entire book in one sitting, though, so to me, it's a worthwhile trade. I'd probably rank this book a 4, maybe a 4.5. I just can't give it a 5 because I want more from the story. Maybe just like 100 more pages to get to know Toadling better. It's definitely not my favorite T. Kingfisher book, but it was really good. I definitely recommend it. I think it would be a really good read to get someone out of a reading slump. If you made it this far, leave a toad emoji in the comments and let me know what Sleeping Beauty retelling I should read next. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.